Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Another beautiful day, gorgeous day in Brazil. This is the window we look out.
I'll begin by sharing my experience this morning. So we go out in the morning and we walk out through the sand in the jungle, and we stand on the edge of the sand or the beach, looking out at the ocean, waiting for the sun to rise. And we make a stand, each of us, and then we share our vision. And Hans does his first, and then I go. And I told you before I even started my thing, it's like I'm already in vision.
I'm already in vision.
I'm like deeply there. And yeah, and it was very emotional this morning. You know, before I took my stand, I was emotional, and then I took my stand, I was emotional again. I was sharing visions, I was emotional again. I mean, I guess got tears coming. And one of the things that hit me is, you know, I've told you about what happened in '97 as far as like having allies and what we created there and how powerful it was with each other. And then how they kind of fell apart, you know, people went their own ways. And
this was with your brothers, huh?
My brothers and two of my sisters. And it was as if in the years to come, they forgot. They forgot it all. You know, it's like a relationship. Like you have this profound relationship with someone. And then you part ways, and you start to view them differently, and your experience differently, and you make up this different story about them. And it seems like the way that you saw them originally was wrong, and it wasn't real. And you start to discount what you experienced and who they are, and you just only see like one side of them. It's very common, and I mean, that's what we do as humans. And I took it on myself to hold on to that vision, you know, that I knew was true. And it's funny because I can relate this back to the Mormon religion, you know, because that's the thing. It's like, you know what the truth is, you know the church is true, you know this about God and so on, and that these are your brothers and sisters out here, and that you're gonna go help them to find the path and to make it home to. It's so funny that I'm just making this connection right now, but it was very kind of similar feeling that what we experienced was real and it was powerful, and we came together as allies, like closer than ever before. And
so when you speak about the truth, it means it felt very real and it was powerful.
I'm talking about in the presence of them in the few years after this experience of '97.
Yes.
They can laugh about it, joke about it, make jokes about the things that we used to say that used to have a lot of meaning, that used to carry so much emotion and were so powerful and whatever. And now it's kind of like laughing it off, you know, like that was just, it was what it was. But, you know, I don't know, maybe we were younger, and maybe that was just whatever of youth, or, you know, whatever was going on in their head. But I held on to this remembering of who I was, who we are, what we experienced, what had worked, like all of this. And you know, like, I'm going to bring this to the world, and I'm going to bring this back to them as well. And they're going to remember, and they're going to awaken to it, and they're going to see how powerful it is. And so that holding to that was often alone. It was often in the face of no agreement, no one else remembering. And, you know, when I stand in front of the I stands and I do this, I'm the one who, like, people can be so right about their perspective. And it's perspective that's hurting them. It's hurting their family. It's whatever. And there's like emotionally, whatever, their story that they're in is so real. And I know where we're going. And I have to hold fast to it. And when I talk about that, I mean also be 100% congruent with it. Because if I'm buying too much into their reality,
right,
they start feeling even more sure. This is what I told you that one story. It was 2004. I was at something I called the Wealth Creator Boot Camp. It was like the second level transformational event. It was an intense 8 days in Lake Tahoe, in the mountains in some condos. And it was on the 8th day, this one day, and I had this powerful butch lesbian woman who was also a doctorate in psychology, vice president of a Fortune 500 company. She was just like, she was a force to be reckoned with, as was my mom, who was there also. And my mom had left. I had a confrontation with my mom inside of the event. And my mom had like quit, and this woman had really bonded with my mom, and she was like taking it to me, And it's in this event, and it's the morning of the 8th day when I'm supposed to bring it all home, bring it to glory, cross the finish line. And she stands up and looking me in the eye in front of everyone, and basically just telling me what a piece of shit I am, and how this is all bullshit and whatever, and just the whole story. And the more you listen to any story, the more you get into it. Mm-hmm. The more you see it, you start, and it's just like. And I look at the participants, and they're kind of seeing what she's saying. She's got so much emotion. When someone's so charismatic, you just kind of start. You can get into it. You can get lost in it, and I'm like eye to eye with her, and I can see what she's saying. How I fucked up in certain ways, and I'm fucking making it all. It's bullshit, and it's all going down. Like I'm kind of starting to go down the toilet bowl with her, and I look around the room at my staff. Because that's part of what they're there for, is to remind me who I am, remind me what we're doing, where we're going, and they're also like how they see me is so powerful. It's part of why they're there. I look around for them like for a flotation device or something, and they're all fucking swirling going down the toilet. I can see it, and I'm like, oh, and I look away from them because they're not there. They're not there for me. They're fucking going down the toilet. And so this is what I'm talking about. And we were talking about before we got on the call this morning I want to tie this into another story. And I know I'm kind of going from story to story here, but over the last few days, I've shared a story about my sister, and how there was a time when she had a conflict with the father of her oldest son. And it was this really pivotal moment where I could see two futures. I see, okay, I come in, I sit down with her, we do the honor window, I stand for her son, and the father of her son. And she sees it, feels it, and makes a choice. And their futures go this way. All of their futures go this way. And maybe even Nathan's children and his relation with women and whatever. Like it all goes this way. Or I don't do it, and it goes this other way, because she was very, righteous about going this other way. And it's one of those moments. And so... And it's going into a dangerous zone, not only because it's not going to work if I buy too much into her reality. And if I don't buy into her reality, I could be seen as not empathetic. This is like,
right.
In a situation like this.
Don't worry about it.
In a situation like this, the other person wants support. Mm. They want you to be their ally in the sense that you're on their team. That guy's an asshole. Right. Fuck that guy. Are you with me? In these moments of conflict, people want to get people on their team. Mm-hmm. They tell the story in a way that helps build their case. It helps get people on their side for them and against the other. It's just what we do. This isn't about my sister. This is what we do as human beings. And so in this moment, and she's all emotional, and she would like my support in that way. And But if I'm going to impact the future of her, her son, this man she's in relationship with, and all of them, I can't be who she wants me to be in that moment. I've got to be in this middle ground that almost looks like I'm with him. I'm with this asshole, you know? Like I'm on the other team. And so, but I have to go there in order to help deliver her and her son to this beautiful place.
You're at the service of that family. You're at the service of the future of that family. You're at the service of the relationship of those people, not on her side or his side or the kid's side.
Yes, and there's a great amount of honor in it, even in the moment, you know, even in the moment of making that stand for her and sitting with her and going through that with her. It's challenging, but there's an incredible amount of honor in it. And now years later, her son, who was like 1 year old at the time, has a great relationship with his father, who lives in another country, and with his extended family over there. And it's invaluable to him, you know, because as much as his stepfather has been a great dad, there's something about a biological father and having that connection, kind of knowing who you are. Like, I'm different than the other kids and whatever, where do I come from and who am I? And just to have that
link
is powerful. And so I made the stand that I did. And then my sister, Katrina, made the stand that she did. Now she also, to do this, she has to do the work of remembering this man. So she has to cross through the judgment walls that she's erected and that he's erected about her. This is like, it's very real in a way, you know, because it looks like he's the judgment wall. And she looks to him like she's his wall that he's made, the judgments he's made up about her. She has to cross through there and like rescue him, you know, bring it back, say, okay, this is who you are, and I'm going to remember you, and my son's going to know you, and he's going to know you as that man, you know. It's so powerful. It's such a generous gift, you know. And it's natural for people to forget people, just write them off, you know. It's so easy, and it's so difficult not to. That, yeah, I just feel so much, you know, so inspired by my sister, and I'm feeling this feeling I call honor, you know, in my heart, you know, as I remember who she was and making that stand to remember this man, because she had all the reason not to. She had plenty of good reasons why, you know, he wasn't there, he didn't step up, he wasn't the hero, you know, like, F him, like, we're going to go this way, I've found a new father for my child, you know. She could have done that. She had every excuse, she had every reason not to, and she was justified, and no one in the family would have blamed her, you know. They would have been like, yeah, F that asshole. So, I guess what I want to say is, you know, I titled this podcast like Making Miracles for Your People, but with the honor work and the technology of being an ally, you really have the power you can see a whole reality of the future going one way. And you can come in and make it go a different way. You know, so it's not like, I mean, you don't force anyone, you don't make anything happen, but by your intervention, what you do is you open up a whole new path that was not possible. That's completely, they're not going to choose that path because it's closed. The judgment wall is there. They're vindicated. That seems like a path of no possibility. It doesn't even look like a path. There's no door. There's no window in that wall.
My experience with it is, because you say it's hard, but my experience of it is that it's easy in a way. I'll tell you why. Like, for me, the danger of it all is not remembering, not having the tools to open up a different path, a path of honor, restoring. And it's just, we don't see the possibility. We don't have the tools to honor someone we feel judgment for. We're just steeped in this judgment that we don't see it. We just don't know. Once you experience like the work, or once you experience feeling the honor of making a stand, the times I felt it, I knew exactly what to do, and it wasn't hard at all. It wasn't hard. Like if I can see my own judgments, look at them, see how I'm the prisoner of my own judgments, and I have this tool to go past it,
yes.
to go back for a brother, to honor my people, the ones I'm judging. It's very obvious what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Because it's so powerful. It's just we don't know what's possible, and we don't have the tool to get past our judgment.
And it's speaking about a tool sounds so cold, like a wrench or something like this. But what it does when you open up this pathway, and the honor window properly facilitated does this, it's not just a pathway, it's a pathway that calls to your heart. Mm-hmm. It says, yes, this is the way.
Right.
Do this, make this stand. This feels right to do this. So properly done, yeah, it feels like that. Now, given your maybe personality type, given the nature of the conflict with this other person, and there's a lot of situations people can find themselves in that are much more challenging, that are the emotions are much higher, you're in the war and there's much more at stake, a child and this and that and so in some cases, yeah, it could just be like, wow, and you see the path and you just go walk in, you didn't need much whatever to do it, just like, yeah, okay, this is the path to do, and this is, I'm a man of honor, and this is okay, I do it. And that sometimes it's as simple as that. But many times it's a much more difficult thing. And then there's also the challenge of, what if it's not you, but what if it's someone you love, or a man that you're supporting, and his father? And he's got every right and reason to write his father off. And you hear his story about how his father fucked him up and what his father did to him and all this. It's very easy to just believe in that story. Be like, yeah, fuck that asshole, But you do the honor window enough times, and that that's not who his father is. That's the wall, and that's the story he's trapped inside of. The guy you're supporting, who you want to be empathetic towards, you want to care about, and you want to be, have him feel supported by you. It's very easy to just go along with his reality. But being a facilitator of the honor window is knowing that that's his wall. You can create a window through the wall. The wall can come where he can see his father with his heart again. And he can bring down the wall. You can create reunion with the father. The father's world can be transformed. The son's world can be transformed. A whole new future opens for them. And it really is, in a very real sense, making miracles happen. That's the way I see it. And it's an incredible skill set to have. It's Saturday, and we're doing one tomorrow, Sunday, yes, with men. If you want to participate, you want to get started on an honor window and get a taste of what it's like, message me, post in the comments, and we'll invite you. We've talked on this podcast quite a few times over the last month or so about being an ally. And for a man who wants to be an ally and he feels called to that path, this is a priceless tool. It's a priceless skill set. Yeah, it's priceless.
It's a miracle maker.
Yes.
I've seen the transformation, and I've seen the power of it, and I call it a tool because it really is, once you've seen and experienced the honor, for me it seems very clear the path I'm going to take, and then you have a tool to like go there and make it right, and walks you through the steps is it's fantastic. So if you, let's say when it is tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Anyone wants to
Sunday,
join?
what is it? It's May 9th today, the 10th.
Yes.
Sunday, May 10th, 4 p.m. tomorrow. If you're listening to this on a podcast sometime in the future, you can still seek us out. You can go to, you can find me online at roninradio.com, which in this moment doesn't exist. Visionforce.com. Or just Google, the honor work and Michael Skye. Are we done?
See you tomorrow.